Hello everyone, Sahil here. I welcome you all to the virtual school. New way of learning and teaching with the vision of let's grow together. So my dear friends, today we are going to talk about comparative politics in the contemporary world. Through this video, we will go through the various thoughts of scholars, political thinkers like Aristotle, then Plato, Cicero, then Polybus, then Nicholas Machiavelli, Montesquieu, then John Stuart Mill, Harold Lasky, and many more. So, the thoughts of those thinkers in terms of comparative politics. Not all the thoughts, because they have given the lot of thoughts and writings about politics and many things about the society. So first of all, today we will talk about comparative politics. So what do we mean by comparative politics? Comparative meaning or word itself translate or describes the comparison. So comparison between our own country with other country, and comparison between the political organizations. Our society compared with the other nation's society. So this kind of comparison will happen in this video. So comparative politics is a subfield of political science. It focuses on how but does not specify what of the analysis. In other words, comparative politics is not defined by the object of its study, but rather than by methods it applies to the study of political phenomena. Substantive focus on the study of countries, political system, and methods of identifying and explaining similarities and differences between them. The focus is explicitly or implicitly upon more than one country. For example, comparative government or foreign policy. When this study evolved, comparative politics as a subject was developed in the 1950s. In America, when political scientists took to the study of political system in place of foreign governments. Comparative politics is tracked to the times of Plato and Aristotle. Aristotle, who first of all adopted certain methods of comparative study. After Aristotle, philosophers like Cicero, then Polybus, Machiavelli, Montesquieu, J.S. Mill, Lasky tried to classify and analyze the political institutions. But entire credit goes to the writers like Finner, Friedrich, Bayes. Most significant contribution to the development of comparative politics was made by the scholars like David Stern, J. Allman, Carl Deutsch, Harold Oswald, Robert Dahl, John Blondell. How? Comparative politics helps the citizens to gain knowledge about the various political systems which will help to develop their own institutions or countries. It also helps to satisfy or classify and interpret the data at our disposal and to draw the generalization. Comparative politics takes into account the economic, cultural, and social aspects of the various institutions. So now we'll go through the approaches to the study of comparative politics. What kinds of approaches were there? So first of all, we'll go through the traditional approaches. Scholars have adopted different approaches for the study of comparative politics. One of the earliest approach was historical or traditional approach. To study political institutions of various states to compare them. Emphasize on the study of political institutions of the Western world. It completely neglected the study of political institutions of the developing and underdeveloped countries. It was descriptive and not analytical. It adopted numerous methods like philosophical, historical, formal and legal, and configurative. Traditional approach suffered from several shortcomings like it was what we can say criticized by the various thinkers. So modern approaches. So it concentrates on the study of political institutions and greatly influenced the working of these institutions. Modern approach was adopted due to the emergence of large number of independent countries in Asia and Africa. Study of legal institutions and various factors influences the political processes. Great stress on the theory building. Interdisciplinary. Close relationship between the structure and functions of these institutions. Structural functional approach. This approach was assumed that political system is a subsystem of the main social system which perform the functions of making legitimate policy decisions. There were three assumptions. First one, society is a single interconnected system. Each element performs a specific function. Various parts of the main system are interrelated. There are certain broad aims and principles of the system which are observed by the members. It suffers from the several shortcomings, which first, it is primarily concerned with the present and has no perspective of the future. It is not helpful in understanding the political systems of the developing countries. It leads to an unwarranted twisting and distorting of empirical realities in the interest of conceptual and theoretical neatness. System approach. It envisages the political system as a subsystem of the larger social system which is constantly immersed in the communication with entities and systems outside its own boundaries. There were several shortcomings of this approach. First one, it is not helpful in the study of political aspects of such matters as perception, exception, formation, and cognition. It concentrates only on the present and does not view the social reality in historical terms. Not helpful for the study of political systems of the third world countries. So last one is the decision making approach. It is not last, but it is the second last. It involves the selection of a problem, followed by search for full information and consideration of various alternatives before final decision emerges. According to the Lasswell, there are several functional stages in the decision making processes that we will learn in next chapter. So there were several shortcomings of this approach, like decision making approach. First one, there is no unanimity among the scholars regarding the methods and techniques of decision making. It wrongly assumes that the decision makers act only in a rational manner. There is a possibility that the decision makers may delegate their authority to subordinate who may act on their behalf. And last approach is Marxist approach. This approach examines the political system with reference to the economic system. Changes in the economic system automatically lead to changes in the political system. So thank you so much for watching this video as an introduction to the comparative politics. We are coming with upcoming chapters with new initiatives. So stay tuned. Thank you.